It was the end of another busy day on the island of Sodor. Woo-hoo, wah-wah. Stanley was heading to Tidmouth Sheds. Woo-hoo-hoo. He was passing by his friend Valerie. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Stanley. Good night. Good night, Sierra. Good night, Stanley, said Sierra. Stanley puffed proudly around the bend. There was a new engine chuffing down the line. Stanley raced down. And he hit the new engine. Ow! Oh, I'm so sorry, said Stanley. If you don't mind my asking, but who are you? My name is Goliath. I'm a new engine, he said fiercely. Sorry if I upset you, said Stanley. I was only trying to get home. Your controller won't be happy to know what you did. I'm sure he'll be understanding, said Stanley. The fat controller was most indeed understanding. I'm really very sorry, sir, said Stanley. I didn't see him when I was coming down the line. Well, you should be more careful, said Goliath. You could have caused me damage. All right, Goliath. Now, said the fat controller, Stanley, your new, friend here, that is Goliath, will be accompanying you, working and running Great Waterton. Oh, yes, sir, said Stanley. I am excited. Wasn't excited at all. He wanted revenge on Stanley. Oh, I'm going to get him back good. I'm going to get him great. Goliath arrived in a siding. He biffed the troublesome truck hard. Ouch, said the troublesome truck. Why'd you bump me? It was that Stanley engine over there who bumped you, said Goliath cheekily. Maybe now Stanley will get into trouble. Stanley chuffed up to the garbage truck. He bumped it. Watch it there, said the truck fiercely. Sorry, said Stanley. Stanley was huffing down the line with him. Valerie was stuck on the line up ahead. Stanley bumped her. Sorry, said Stanley. Stanley's truck had bumped him. But why, said Stanley. Goliath told me to, said the truck cheekily. Goliath's been making trouble for me, I see, said Stanley. Well, you see, darn right, said Goliath. Ooh, how rude, said Sierra. He's even more vain than you, James, teased Gordon. Shut it, wheezed James. Well, what's going on here, said the fat controller. It was all Goliath, sir, said Stanley. It was all him, not me. Yes, agreed Sierra. I don't know what happened, said Gordon. It was all Stanley, chuckled James. Stanley, I am most disappointed. Goliath is a new engine. Treat him well. But, sir, they are wrong, said Stanley. Oh, no, they're most definitely right, said Goliath, and he sauntered happily away. Getting revenge on Stanley seems fun so far, he huffed. Don't worry, Stanley, said Sierra. Later on that day, Diesel was taking a truck up the line. Goliath was very happy. That sounds like an engine. I'll hoot at them. Diesel was traveling back, and no mischief was being made until... Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Goliath was so frightened Diesel, and he came right off the track. You horrid little engine. Well, whoops, said Goliath. I thought you were Stanley. You'll be saying Stanley's name a lot in a few more days, said Diesel, when I get my revenge. No, I won't, said Goliath. There was a problem at Great Waterton Station. Goliath wasn't there to pick up the passengers, and all the other engines were on other duties. The fat controller was walking down the road of the station. He's a bad controller. There's no train to pick us up, said the passengers. They were all saying what a bad railway it was. You stupid controller. And a passenger threw paper at him. What's wrong, sir? Said Stanley. Goliath isn't here to pick up his train. Have you any idea where he is? I saw him earlier. He was with Diesel, and Diesel was derailed. Goliath must have tricked Diesel, said the Fat Controller. Then Goliath wheeshed into the yard. Woo-hoo. Goliath, thanks goodness you're here. But where have you been? Diesel was making trouble for me. I will have a word with Diesel then. Now get pulling your train. I will have Stanley do it since he's more efficient and cares about his work. Stanley laughed. Goliath buffered up, and he shoved away. Oh, I will get back at that Stanley. I will, he said. He won't leave this railway unless he's pranked. Goliath returned from pulling his passenger train. He saw Gordon and James. James, he said. Gordon. You've got us mixed up. I'm Gordon, and that is James. Oh, my apologies, said Goliath. So what has the Stanley character been saying about me? Has he plotted to get me off the railway since I'm a much better engine than him, obviously? Honestly, said Gordon, very cheekily, the words haven't been good. He says you're a disgraceful engine. You are horrible credit to Great Waters and a horrible credit to the island overall. Oh, well, that just makes things worse, said Goliath. I will get rid of him. Now. Well, what did you just do, Gordon? Said James. Oh, Stanley. Stanley will be sure.